Hello, I'm ABX Toycat and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be showing you how to build 5 very cool pieces of redstone in Minecraft. And the reason I'm doing this is because about a week ago now I made a video called 5 pieces of redstone you need in Minecraft. And I showed off lots of redstone, whether it was the automatic chest sorter, whether it was the automatically open and shut door, or whether it was the automatic cooker. Lots of people liked each of the builds I showed off in there, but some people had difficulties building them. And I figured just showing the redstone would be a cool way people could pause it. But you know, it's kind of hard to look at this and be like, how does this work? Or why does this work? And in which order do I need to build it? So I figured I'd make today's video to show you how to build each of those 5 builds and explain how each individual bit works so you can understand a bit more about redstone while you also learn how to build some really cool redstone contraptions. So please do like the video if you do like it because it helps out the channel a lot and lets me know you do like the redstone videos and want to see more of these. But yeah, let's get straight into it by quickly saying that, you know, basically, if you haven't watched the original video, I'd very much recommend watching that first. It will make a lot of the stuff explained in here clearer. You know, that's just your fair warning. If you want to know how these things work, that video is for this. This is to explain how to build them. But yeah, let's get started by talking about the first one here, which is probably one of the most complex ones and will take the most time because it is the automatic chest sorter. So the automatic chest sorter was the first one I showed off, and it is one of my favorite things that I've always had problems building myself because, you know, looking at this, it's kind of complex to work out why you need 3 rows of hoppers and why, you know, it only sorts to certain things. And basically there's a lot of steps behind this, but let's start by just, you know, showing you how to build it so you can learn as we go along. So let's start by talking about the pipe you need to build because you're going to need to build out of any block of your choice. In this case, it's going to be prismarine bricks because TU31, why not? But yeah, you need to build a pipe that's going to basically be like a cross but without the center. So again, this is something I actually learned from Z1 and Lonely, so just in case this is a specific build, that's from him. But yeah, so it's a pipe or a cross without a center, just like so. And inside the cross without a center, you want to have redstone repeaters. You can have them face either way, but this is going to be facing towards where the chests are. So if we want to have chests over here, for instance, we face the repeaters this way, and then have them on the minimum thing. Then on the block they're attached to, so you can see they're attached to this block here, you have redstone torches there. The reason we do this, in case you're curious, is because it means that when a redstone signal goes through, it very temporarily deactivates the torch, which means the redstone can activate. And just show you that work in action, let's just remove this block for a second, and here you can see, oh, wow, we're doing this terribly. Here you can see, activate the torch, and then that turns it off for a second. However, this only happens for a very brief second, and you'll see why that comes in useful later. But for now, just bear in mind, the torch turns off for a second when you do that. And then also bear in mind, we need to have a block on top of here, because it's a full-on pipe. So just go like this, and boom, we've got like a redstone repeater pipe, if you will. So yeah, now you want to do is you want to focus on building some hopper. You want to focus on building some chests first because there needs to be hoppers in the chest. So these chests are going to be the kind of ending point of your thing, and basically you need to have both chest and trap chest if you want to be next to each other like this, which is the only really efficient way to do it. So just bear in mind, get chest and trap chest, get maybe 4 or 5 each. As many. By the way, you can do this as many blocks wide as you want to do. I've done 8 blocks, but you can do 100 blocks and have 100 chests. It gets tricky because you need 300 hoppers for that. But for now, we'll be using 8, I think this is. And yeah, what you want to do is you want to stack yourself up twice, like so. Oh, sorry, a block in front of the torch. And then you want to place yourself a chest, and then you want to shred the 2 blocks, and then place next to it another chest, and then another chest, and I'm sure you get where this is going, and you just want to keep doing this as you go across. And yeah, now this is where the chests are going to be going. This is your receiving point. This can be my chest for dirt, this can be my chest for stone, for iron ore, for gunpowder, for prismarine shards, for cake. You know, you get the point. You can do whatever you want in each of them. And if you want to, if you think that you need more storage, you can actually crouch again, place another trap chest or chest on each side, and do this. And this is just kind of like if you find you need, like, let's say you have cobblestone, you're probably going to have more than a small chest full of cobblestone, and you can do that. And in fact, if you need even more than a double chest to make the system even better, you can place a hopper, and then you can have another chest down here, which does the same thing, and it basically just kind of doubles up your storage. So something worth bearing in mind that you can do. You don't need to do it, but it's something you can do. For now, we'll just use double chests like so. So yeah, now we've got our double chests. How do we have these stuff automatically go in there? Because, you know, now we just have lots of chests floating in the air. How do we turn that into something workable? So your next step is placing hoppers above the torch into the chest. So this should just be as simple as going like that. And this means that these hoppers won't work by default until they're activated for a brief second. Why is this important? Well, this is important because the hoppers above them, which are going to be going into some comparisons over here, basically these will absorb items from them anyway, which will stop them from functioning properly, unless we turn these off by default until an item comes through them, which is kind of tricky to measure, but you'll get to that in a second. So yeah, next up, you want to turn this pipe we have into a pipe with a little kind of corner on it, which is going to be in between the hopper and the block there. Should be simple enough. Just place your block there, or place another block if you want to, and on this block, you want to place some comparators. So the comparator, it's a TU19 new item, so you should be familiar with it now. Basically, it measures whatever's going to be inside, and this is pretty important because it can measure a hopper, and it can keep a constant output until we need it not to have one. So again, that kind of becomes useful. And then the rest of the blocks around here are going to be covered in redstone. So just place redstone all the way along here. The reason this is so useful is because we're going to make it so as soon, basically by default, it's going to power, just 2 of these redstone things. But the moment it gets to a third one, or the moment it gets to a second one, it's going to the moment it gets to a second one, it's going to activate the redstone repeater relevant to it, and it's going to go along there. The reason it's, that's not so dangerous is because if it went to a third block, it could get to here. But because it only goes 2 blocks, it's just going to be like, well, 1, 2, and then that's useless. Or it can go 1, 2. Basically, it has to do, this full second block to actually be useful down here, which means they'll only work on the same thing, which means you have a big redstone mess like this, and it won't actually cause any problems, which seems bizarre, but it does work that way. Anyway, next up, we want to have our next hopper line going into the comparator, like so. Simple as this, just have a bunch of stuff like that, and then boom, we need to then, to make these function, because they're now all hooked up there, make sure this works like this. If you haven't done this correctly, it will go crazy. Then you want to put 22 items of whatever you want to have in there in each one. So you can see in here I have like 22 cobblestone, in here I have 22 dirt, and you want to do it like this, or you can divide it evenly if you want to. Either way, it has to be 22 items, and it has to fill up all the slots in there. They're both very, very important things. The reason, first of all, that you want to have all of one item and filling up all the slots is because it means if we have so let's grab, let's have a chest. That seems like a fun idea. So let's just grab 22 of these chests. The reason you want to make it so it's like this, for instance, so there we go, now we've got 22, is because it means if it's all filled up with this block here, it means that nothing else can get through, because we're going to have hoppers on top of this, right? So the hoppers can be like this. Basically, the hoppers won't put stuff in there, or it won't be absorbed from there if it can't absorb it, and it can only absorb trap chests, because trap chests are the only thing in there. It's clever, and we'll be using that later, but for now, just bear in mind, it can only absorb trap chests, because that's all that's in there. This next chest will only be able to absorb, I don't know, redstone, for instance, which can pick some random items. The other one's a bit more logical, but this one's a bit more fun, in my opinion. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go like that. This one can be track, for instance, because we've got, pretty close to the number we need anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like that. And then boom, as we go along, you'll see that it'll start powering the redstone, but it won't power this second block. This second block will only be powered when we hit the 23rd item, and that will activate the repeater temporarily, which will turn off this torch, which will mean that it'll allow it to go through there. So yeah, this means you have a constant input of 22 items in there. When the 23rd item comes in there, it makes one of these items pop down into this chest, which then pops into this one because it's automatically hooked up. That seems kind of complex, but it's actually pretty clever, and that's kind of the whole mechanism behind how this works. So for now, we've only got 3 of these working. But we can do this for each of these, but I'm sure I don't need to repeat the same thing over and over again. And then next up, you need to have a bunch of hoppers going from one side to the other. So it doesn't particularly matter which side you do it on, but they all need to be going in the same direction from a chest, which will be, let's say, on this side. So let's just place a chest there. You want to have a chest going all the way from here. So actually, we need to place this block upwards, because yeah, let's just do that now. So place a chest, then place another chest. You want to have a hopper going from that chest, and then always going to the right from there. So in this case, it's just going to be going... Actually, no, wait, that's going the wrong direction. So we need to... then we'll place a chest over here, for instance, which I'm doing terribly. So we need to place a chest just over here, then place one on top of it. And yeah, we're going to have hoppers going all the way from the left chest to the right chest. So this just means this is like the automatic sorter. It takes it step by step through the entire system. So now we need to place one there. And then finally we finish up with one just over there. Did we do that just right? Yeah, you need to make sure that this... so this entire hopper row is going to the right from one chest to the other. The second entire hopper row is facing towards the comparator, so that way it won't automatically force items in there. Then the third hopper row is going to be just above the torch, so it's turned off, going inside the chest. You need to make sure all of these are in the right direction. And then what this means is, if we just throw in some track, for instance... You'll see what happens is it'll go through this hopper here. It won't, go through that, so it'll go to the next one. It doesn't go into this chest there, so it goes to the next one. But then before it goes into the next hopper, before it can be absorbed there, this hopper decides to absorb it, puts it in there. Then it takes it into the next hopper, and obviously at the same time, it makes the redstone signal activate, and then it will go into the chest we find over here. So there are rails. It seems like there was a small error, and we have... No, it was just right about right. And there's all our rails inside the chest, and that's how that works right there. I think actually one of the rails went missing somewhere, so I don't know where that is. I think it must be in the bottom hopper still, because that's one of the things. Yeah, so you can see that's one of the things happening there. But we throw the rest of the rails in there, so we can actually see it happening from the whole thing now. You can see that every time it hits here, it will temporarily activate that second bit of redstone. Again, it activates the ones on the side, but that's entirely fine, because it means that temporarily activates the repeater on there, temporarily turns off the torch, and allows for the stuff to get through here. So it's a very, very handy little thing that you might have noticed. I think maybe it was me opening the chest that caused the redstone irregularity, because it's a trap chest. I think that's what it is. Anyway, so now you can see that whole system works. So obviously what you want to do is you want to make sure each of these has something in it, and once you do that, it means that anything that can't go into any of these 8 chests in this 8 hoppers in this example example, will have to go through to the end chest, and this can be like your filter for items that you just don't really want, or that you just don't have a chest for. And yeah, because you got to bear in mind also that some items like diamonds, putting 22 of those in a hopper just to automatically sort can be too tricky, so you won't have a chest for that. But yeah, for the most part, any item of the game which you have too much of, so any mob drop, any ore, any block you have loads of, you can sort through this system, and you can sort through hundreds of, like I said, you can have hundreds of hoppers, and you can even rotate this round if you want to. You can make this go around all corners of your room, because bear in mind, if you want to, take this in a block further, all you have to do is, for instance, go this way. So if we just have our chest up here, you can see it would go around a corner, but we can do this multiple times. So let me just place the chest up there, and then you can see if we place some hoppers going along there. Now, if we do the exact same thing going downwards, then as long as you have a little bit of space to allow, all of the blocks to go around a corner, then what you can actually do is you can have it so that, the entire room could be an item sorter, and the center could be full of chests. Again, that's just one idea. You can do a bunch of cool things with this, but basically the automatic chest sorter is something I think you need in your Minecraft world, because if you have lots of stuff, like, I have so much stuff in my Let's Play world, I want to build one of these just to make that problem go away, and I think I'm going to build an amazing automatic chest sorter at some point. But for now, here's how you build it. If you want to make one, I'd recommend it. That's just the first one here, and it took up the most of the time because there's a lot of mini, explanations in there that make it kind of complex, and that's why it took me so long to learn, and that's why I hopefully have taught you something about it today. So next up, we have the this thing here. This is the easiest one to show you because it literally, you can look at it and then do the whole thing there. But just in case you are curious as to the whole mechanics, basically the way you do this is you have a rail system which goes in a loop. So we'll show you a very basic loop here. So you have a rail system which goes in some form of a loop but covers every single block in it. So in this case, we can just go like this, for instance. Make sure you have a powered rail every now and then so it actually turns on. And then below the powered rail, actually, before we do that, make sure you have the redstone torches so it's always powered. And then, yeah, just like that. And then we go around a little bit, like so, and then eventually reach the end, and boom, now we've got an entire, make sure you cover every single bit of the floor. If there's any floor that's not covered, it'll be kind of useless. And then you put a minecart hopper going on it, and then you make it go on there permanently. So to make the very simple version, you leave it on there, and, actually what you need to do, sorry, one more thing that I'm trying to oversimplify here. You have 2 hoppers going into a chest, which will be over here, for instance. So basically now you put the hoppers down, but going into each other, into the chest, because now what happens is every single time, any item that's dropped on the track, so we'll just throw some on there, for instance, now it'll be picked up by the minecart, the hopper, and when it goes over these hoppers, it will automatically put them in there. So just like that, it'll magically work. Make sure that you put the powered rail going on there as much as you want. When you have it going too fast like that, it's kind of erratic to look at, and I'm sure that can't be good for too much of the world. But yeah, when you have it going at this speed, it's just like, yeah, it's yamming around, picking up the blocks, and it puts them in there. So just to show you with an entire stack, because it can pick up stacks at a time, unlike regular hoppers, which kind of have to absorb them bit by bit. And then yeah, it slowly throws them into the chest like this, and boom, just like that. That's how the system works. So you can do this on a much bigger scale, and you can also do this by placing half slabs above it, because when you place blocks on the half slabs, it's absorbed by the hopper still, and then it will eventually, as it comes back around, be placed into the chest. So very, very handy little thing you might not have known there, and that's how you make the automatic thing. I'm sure most people could see this just by looking at it, but it's something that you might need to know, because for farms, it's so useful. So next up, let's show you the door thing. The doors are something I thought was quite cool, because most people have their doors kind of not functional like this. It's not the best thing in the world, right? But what is really cool is when you have both open at the same time. So how do you sort that out? Let me show you right now, shall we? So let's grab some redstone, let's grab some iron doors, and I think that's just about all we need. So, okay, we got our redstone and our iron door, so place two doors, just like so. And now it's like, okay, how do we open them both at the same time? Because we have our pressure plates, right? So where are the pressure plates? We have our pressure plates, right? And we have pressure plates like this. Opens one door, opens the other door. You can open them both by going from the center, but to make them both activate at the same time, it's a reasonably simple thing to do. You just need to make it so the redstone goes from both of them and hits both the doors. And this can be kind of tricky, because if you just try and do it in the simple way that you might figure like this, it's not actually going to work properly, because it just makes a loop. So you need to make sure it goes down a block like that. That way it doesn't hook up to there. And then you want to do the same on the other side, obviously, because otherwise you're not really going to shoot too much, like so. And then what we can do is we can hook it up like that, and boom. Now both doors are opened by the same bit of redstone. It's a really, really simple bit of redstone, but it's so useful. And all you need to do is, because obviously it's like this, if we grab another... Let's grab some dark prismarine, why not? So we now do this, and then what you can see is we just need to cover that up, because it's next to a door anyway. It should be covered up, and this block you can just cover with dirt, because why not? But yeah, because it's next to a door anyway, it should be covered up, and just like that, you've got yourself a fully functional door thing. Because also bear in mind that this can be a block lower, so you don't even need to properly do that, so just place that there instead. And boom, that's a useful way to open both doors at once. And the other one, I'm sure you probably all saw that, but it's just as simple. If you want to make the door, frustrate people and never open, you just have to have both doors on their sides. So have a door there. Have a door, I think it might be on the other way, and then you want to make sure that they both are just permanently turned on by a lever or something at the bottom. So now we go into the block below it. I'm worried I'm going to have problems here, and then we place the lock there. Then, because you can place levers on the bottom of blocks, like so, when you turn them on, okay, this is going the wrong way, so we place this like that. Now when you turn both levers on, like we're going to do here, except we need to actually replace the levers, so let's try that again. Okay, so now we place both levers and turn them both on. You'll see, it permanently shuts like this, and this means that even when you put the pressure plate in front of it, you can frustrate people because they're trying, and they're just not succeeding. It's just not working that way, because obviously it's already on, but they just think the door's not opening, and it can drive people insane, and that's always a fun thing, right? So that's that right here. Let's move on to the next one, which is the automatic cooker. People love the cooker because you put your fuel in there, you put your raw food in there, you get your finished food. It's pretty cool, but some people have problems working out how this whole thing here works. So basically, this comparator is measuring the dropper here. It's then sending a signal to go through itself, and it's also, doing the thing over here where it's going up to there, and it's powering each of the droppers along the way. So the dropper goes pow, 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 pow all the way up, and that seems kind of confusing because it's just 8 bits of redstone next to each other. But let's show you just step by step how this whole thing goes, shall we? Because honestly, there is a slight inefficiency that one of the food gets trapped in each of these hoppers each. Or is it just the middle? It's just the middle one, it seems. And yeah, that's something that you might not decide. But anyway, yeah, let's show you how you build this. So first of all, you want to go a few blocks above the surface. So, if you want this, to actually, you only need to have some blocks below the surface if you want to do this like this. But because we want super flat, we'll just go a few blocks above the surface. Then you want to have your chest. Actually, wait, we'll do the furnace system first. So then you want to grab yourself some furnaces and some hoppers, and we have a bunch of hoppers already, and some droppers. Make sure they're droppers, not dispensers. There's a key difference there you want to bear in mind. And then first of all, you want to have some dropper piles going up like this. Crouch, place them obviously, into your third chest over here. Then in the center here, you're going to have a trap chest because you want to have next to each other. So again, this comes in so many pieces of redstone, but it's also so handy. So place your trap chest just over there. Then place your chest on the third block here. And then just like magic, what will happen is if we place our hopper on the... Wait. Yeah, I'm just making sure I place it the same way as I did there. Then you place your furnace this way, and then from the chest to the furnace, like that. Then from the chest to the other side of the furnace, like this. Now, this is your fuel chest. It goes into the side of the furnace, so if we... Let me just show you, in fact. We place our 32 coal in there, and boom, it goes from there into the side of the furnace, and then slowly fills up the furnace. Then from this chest, you put in the raw mutton. But what about the next step? So below the next thing, you're going to need to have a hopper, which goes sideways into this bottom dropper over here. So what this does is it means that anything that finishes from the furnace is automatically absorbed into this dropper over here. And then, because we have a comparator here, which is by default turned off until any items get in there. This will activate 2 repeaters, which means the whole signal actually goes on, one of which is going to the left, one of which is going to the right. This one on the right is just going to loop around and do its whole own thing, and this one on the left is going to go up onto a blocks like this. Again, I'm just copying my own stuff over there because I'm like, is this how it works? I'm just going to make sure. In fact, we'll use furnaces here just because it's funny and it fits the theme. So we'll place some redstone on our furnace here, and then we'll place some redstone on the next furnace, which needs to be up there. So then we also need to have one over here, and then boom, just like that, we've powered on the top thing, and just like that, you see, it's gonna activate the dropper, activate the dropper, and go up there. So in case that didn't make too much sense, let's just show you in function now, shall we? So let's place our raw mutton in there, and you'll see as each one finishes, it goes through the whole thing. Like I said, there's a slight inefficiency that because it requires the previous push to get all the way to the top, because this only activates 2 of them, then you do have a slight issue. You could probably work that in though by making it more complex, but for now, it kind of works. This, the middle dispenser floor is a floor. Did I put it in the wrong... I did put it in the wrong check. I was wondering what was going so wrong there. So now we need to grab all of this out there, and we'll just throw it straight in there, just for the point of that. And as you can see, when each one cooks, it's going to automatically be absorbed by the hopper and take it into the dropper next to it, like that. And then that temporarily activates the signal, which you saw, it was a very quick tip, but then throws it into there. Then the next signal makes the whole thing activate, and it throws it into up there, into the chest, and then so on and so forth. It's pretty handy like that, isn't it? So hopefully you should see it happen here. And then what will happen? Wait for it. Wait. Oh, one's already gone. But here you can see, one more thing goes through there, goes temporarily in there, activates the whole redstone, and then like that, you're seeing this chest here will slowly start to fill up with your cooked mutton. Again, there's a slight inefficiency that some gets caught in the middle, but that's entirely fine in this case, and that's how this works. So, yeah, that is the first thing over here. This is the automatic cooker, and if you want to know how to make it, because I know a lot of people really did like it, that's how you do it. If you want to make a more simple version, you can just have, like, chest on, you can without all of that stuff, if you don't want to have the 3 chests next to each other, you can go as simple as like, oh, I'm going to have a, I guess a chest below a furnace, below a hopper, which is below a furnace, which on the side of the furnace has a hopper, and then on top of the furnace, like that, and then you got your chest there, and then you place one over here. So this is the more simple version, because you don't need any droppers or any redstone, but it's not quite as exciting, is it? So yeah, that is the 4th design here. Let's move on to the 5th one. So the final piece of redstone I'm going to be showing you how to make today, the 5th one, is going to be the password protected door. And the reason this is clever is because you can have a door which just doesn't work until you put a password in the slot. In my case, it's a lever called White Toy Cat, and the clever thing about this is it means they need to know that, one, there is a secret piece of redstone, and then even once they know there's a secret piece of redstone, they need to know what your password is, and they need to know what your password item is. So it's kind of a clever, only people that know your little secret can get in, and it means you can have secret-based redstone rather than just, a secret lever, which anyone could find in theory. This is, they need to know a very specific piece of information, which is clever if, obviously, they can't just break this and work out what's in there. So, yeah, so this works by basically the very basic method of an AND gate. The AND gate is powered by the hopper. If the hopper's not on, then the other thing just can't get through no matter how it works. So that's the basics of it, but let's show you a very, very simple version of this so you can get the basic concept in practice. So should we build this with something, let's say, just an iron door? So again, this only really works in situations where they can't break stuff, because if they can break stuff, they can just be a bad sport and go through it. But let's just say, this is a place where they can only use your natural way to get in. So we've got an iron door. How do we make it so that you need a password to get into this? So this is a reasonably simple one to do. Actually, let's place this a little bit further to the right. So, you've got this right here. On the right here, we're going to have a button, let's say. This button will only work once we activate the whole thing. And then on the left, we're going to have our little password slot. The password slot can be somewhere kind of clever, like, again, we can just make a half slab on the floor onto this hopper there, which we measured by a comparator over here. So if we grab a comparator, which I got rid of for some reason, so just find one of these. And then this is going to be measuring the hopper. And then we grab a hopper there. And then on top of the hopper, or also behind the hopper, so just place block there, place block there. Then we need to just place any half slab we choose. We could have a half slab of, let's just pick the weirdest one because it looks weird, but you can pick one that blends in perfectly. And now when you place any block on top of there, it goes into the hopper. So that's how that works right there. And now you can see if we actually check the hopper, which we can do from the side here, then boom, that's in there. So yeah, the reason this is relevant, it uses the same kind of half step thing I mentioned earlier, because now we're going to have an AND gate which links these two mechanisms together, and it means that, the redstone which will connect, so let's just place a block there. Where's that? Where the thing is? Yeah, the redstone that connects this to the door. If we just hooked it up directly, it'd mean that what will happen is, well, this isn't hooked up directly at all, but if we hooked it up directly like so, for instance, you'd see that, the button is going to activate the door. But if we go through an AND gate, it needs that both the button has to hit the door and the thing has to go through that. And that's why it's called an AND gate, I guess. But yeah, let's place these back and let's show you how we do this. So let's grab some more polished andesite. I like polished andesite. It's a nice looking brick, isn't it? But yeah, let's kind of focus. And let's first of all just build the AND gate before we do anything else, just so you know how the whole thing works. If you just decide, I'm done, let's leave this. So basically the AND gate is going to work like so. It's going to be a block there, it's going to be a block there. And once both blocks are powered on, so we place a torch there and a torch there, bit of redstone there and a torch. Both these things need to be turned on for this to work. And show you that functioning in practice, let's have a bit of redstone there going to a door. Actually, wait, let's have the bit of redstone here going to this door, which will be over here. And you can see what will happen is, let's just remove the cake, which is kind of there. If we power both of these on with a torch, then you'll see that we need both to be on. If we remove one, I'm just showing you the AND gate over and over again, because that really is the key part of how this works. It's a pretty simple piece of redstone once you understand the core basic of that, because this piece of redstone on the left is going to be hooked up to our button. So let's make this go underneath that other piece of redstone. Again, this is going to be messy, but only so I can show you in kind of the basic thing here. So this will go just under here, and then eventually it will hop up, and then go over to here. So just like that, following the redstone along, over to here. And boom, just like magic, it goes into the left side of this. And then on the right side, we're going to have a hopper, which will go in like that. So now we just need to make the hopper only activate this redstone gate when we put our password in. So how do we do that? So in this situation over here, I put a random full item in there. Because if you put a item like a sword, a hoe, anything that can't be stacked no matter what you do, it's going to add up to several little presses. And I think it goes to a few of that. So now we place a second one of those in there. I think that might be too many, but let's try a gold shovel too. Again, the gold's just in there because why not gold, right? And I think, okay, no, that actually does power this, so we could make it go around a little bit. And you can make this for any specific situation. And you need to power it in such a way. So actually, we need to do this in a very weird way, don't we? You need to power it in such a way that it'll only power on when you put the exact number of things you want to put in there. So in this case, let's just test with 4 bits of redstone. Actually, we could see how many bits of redstone until it powers, because redstone's a very easy block to come across. You can make this any secret item you want it to be, but you just need to power it without naming it first. So let's just put like 9 in there. Is that going to depower the torch yet? Nope. Let's throw the whole stack in there. Is that going to work? Okay, no, we've clearly gone with too many redstone blocks then. So what we need to do instead is you just need to work out the exact the exact way to where the blocks actually run out. So I think this is still powered. It's this last block that's not powered. So we just need to work out the exact amount we need to have in there before it stops being powered. I guess we can just have a whole stack of something else. So let's make this an entire stack. And then there we go, that's turned off. But now we need to find the exact threshold. And the exact threshold you can work out from a hopper. So, but by doing some other methods. But for now, we're just going to take out lots of blocks until we get there. So it's still okay. No, let's take out some more then. Okay, now it's turned on. So it's somewhere between this 7. So if we just throw 1, 2, 3, is 10 gonna? Okay, 10 powers it off. So now we know it's somewhere between 7 and 10. And just keep doing this so on and so forth. So now 1, 2, 3, 7 in there. Okay, wait, wait, that doesn't work at all. So now we just put 1 more in there. Test that, shall we? Put 1 more in there again, and it's so on and so forth. And you need to make sure you keep going until you turn that off. So I think it was actually the 10 before, and just like that, now we know that we put our stack of redstone in there. We put the gold, hoe, the gold shovel, and then with these 14 other items, we need to name these to be one specific thing. So in this case, I named it a lever that was white toy cat. This actually looks like it's a key, but if you don't want it to look like a key, you want it to be a very secret thing, then you could make this, for instance, let's take our 14 redstone. We need to throw one of these away. And then when you what you want to do is go to an anvil and name this stack of items your password. So our password will be something ridiculous like goat 30, no wait, goat 300, no 30,000 D, and then a slash, because why not? No one's gonna. That's a safe, secure password. Now, if we put that in there and make sure it fills up the slots, then what you can actually do is you can make it so when all of your goat 30,000 D, etc. is in there, like this, it depowers the thing. But if you just take a single one of those out, the whole system doesn't work. And this means that for the system to work, we need to put the key in there. So, okay, now you can see when we press the button, it's going to temporarily depower that thing, right? But it's not going to do anything until we put in our secret bit of redstone into there, which now means that when we press the button, it opens the door. So this is, I'm showing you here how to open a door, but bear in mind, this is just the basics of how to make any password-powered redstone. Now imagine what we can do is we remove this bit, so we remove this going from there. Actually, we don't need to move that entirely, but let's just say we move this into being any bit of redstone from before. You can even make this power on or off your automatic chest sorter. You can make this power on or off like any piece of redstone that you really have any desire for, and that's where this gets really cool. So let's say you make it so your lights you will only power on when you when it's password protected. I don't know why your lights are such an important source to you. Actually, it's placed over there. But that's something you can do. So now unless the password's in there, your lights aren't going to power on when you press the button. And again, you can use it for so many different things. But I think it's just a clever way to kind of have a bait and switch on people, because you can also make it so the button does something else unless it goes through the AND gate, and that's kind of clever. So anyway, that's the secret password protected redstone. That's everything you need to know about how to build these 5 pieces of redstone. Let me know if you did like this video, because redstone tutorials are quite long-winded. This is over a 20-minute video, and let me know with a like on the video if you did like it, and let me know in the comments down below what you think about the redstone videos in general, because I like to keep all my redstone reasonably simple. I know there is some insanely complex stuff out there, but I like it to be stuff you can use in survival, and that's why I did this video here. Let me know what you think, again, in the comments about all of that sort of stuff, and I guess I'll get some feedback from there. Maybe we'll do some more, maybe we won't. Again, based on feedback. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you did all enjoy the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.